workshop, and happy last day of Pride Month. Today we are going to be making a bookmark. One half is going to be a bumblebee, and the other half is going to be, of course, a rainbow. So what you need is a piece of yellow felt. That's going to be your actual bumblebee. A piece of black felt. This was the only one they had, and it has sparkles, so I'm not sure which side I'm going to use yet. We'll make that decision later. And then white for the wings, and I am pretty sure I am going to use the sparkle side of that. I don't know if you can really see that well. The purple part is going to be the strip that goes through that actually sits in your book. It's nice and soft. No glitter there. And then rainbows. I came today all decked out with my lovely earrings. Let's see if you can see these. Those guys I made myself. That's my unicorn, an actual rainbow. My little beaded necklace. You know, have to show out for the last day. The first part of this is making the actual piece that goes in the book. So whatever color you choose, make sure it is a soft felt, no textures, no glitter, anything like that. We want to make our strip roughly 1/2 inch, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Just measure where your heart leads you. I'm actually going to turn this around because I don't want to cut my fingers. No, not today. That's not the way that this is gonna go. And just slice down. Beautiful. So now we have the piece to run inside the book. And what I'm actually going to do is probably start with that bottom line and just cut a straight line across so that it's easier to work with than trying to cut out something that's detailed while you're working with a whole piece. One done. It's so cute. And that is 2. Now that we have these 3 pieces cut out, we can start work on our first side. I put a piece of white paper down because 1, you don't want to get glue all over your board. We can clean it, yes, but it's a pain in the backside. 2, it was very difficult to see the pieces we're working with on the dartboard. So we're going to start at one end, and we are going to put our rainbows. We're going to flip this one over, and this will be hard to see on the white paper. But we're going to take the purple piece, and we're going to bring it almost to the edge of the bottom of this rainbow right here, okay? Almost to the edge. And we are going to use our felt and foam glue. I'm going to hold my finger right here because I can feel where the top of the rainbow is. Now we're going to do something crazy. We're not going to glue that piece to the purple. We just use it as size reference. So we are going to actually glue the other piece down to it. And then we are going to flip these over. And I will do the same thing, except on this side, I'm going to be putting the glue all around the rainbow, the whole rainbow. I've never used this glue before. It's very thick. So we're going to have to manipulate it a little bit with our fingers. Get it to the edges where we want it. We want to make the bottom of these clouds meet, which will in turn make the rest of them line up. And now on one side, you have this cute little rainbow. Beautiful. I am going to make a pattern for this bumblebee. Now, you could always go online, print one out, cut it into pieces. That's perfectly fine to do. I just don't have those resources currently. Now we need something cylindrical. We're going to use as the head, because I can kind of draw an oval, but I cannot draw a perfect circle. Although I do love the band. And now we can draw our big bumblebee body. And it doesn't have to be perfectly even on both sides, because in just a second I'll show you why it's going to eventually be even. Lovely. All right, we want tiny little eyeballs on this guy, little circles, and a tiny little mouth. We're just gonna make it like that. And I think I'm gonna dot in some blush on him. For the antenna are gonna be difficult because we can't make them too tall, or else they're gonna flop over because they're just felt. Now the wings. They start about here and they are very upward and oval. And the smaller wings are down here, but they are also oval. All right, I like that guy. That guy's cute. We're gonna fold him in half. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold this up to the light, and I'm gonna get the other side of his head straight. Now I know that the circle, the head, is going to be an actual circle. We can start cutting this out. We are also going to cut the antenna off of this. That's fine. We can play around with those. See, now you have your circle for the head, your base for the body. We're going to trace them, and I'm going to use a marker this time so I can see it a little bit easier. So now that we have both of these drawn out, we're going to put them back together and trace. This is going to be the back part of our bumblebee. This is just going to encase all of the layers of felt that we're going to glue together. Now we cut these guys out. Now we have our two little bee bodies. Cut out the black strips. Now, remember, we folded this in half for a reason, because we're only going to be cutting the side we like there. And that way it doesn't matter what is on the other side because it's still symmetrical. I love symmetry. Symmetry is good for me. Okay, so now we decide. Do we want our butterfly to sparkle or just the wings to sparkle? Sparkle. So the only thing that I have found that actually makes a mark on this black is going to be our tailor's chalk. I drew a little line here. You can actually see it, but I tried pens and markers and everything, and it was getting too hectic and you couldn't see anything. So now we're going to show you how to use this pattern. And what I did is just draw out, because it's paper, it's going to bend, and this is hard. So if you hold your stencil down and just make little marks away from it. Don't worry, we can put that back in place. Boom. There's one of our patterns. All right, we're good to go. Cut these little guys out. So now that we have our bee body assembled, we are going to go through and mark at the tip of each black piece, just so we know after we glue this where the proper placement is. All right. All right, we're going to use our finger there again to spread it out all over. All right. So we should be able to place this exactly on those marks. All right. And our body is glued. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out, and then I'm going to put this against the edge of another piece of paper, draw it out real quick, and we'll have our wings. Now that we have our wings pattern all done, we're going to cut this out, and then we're going to put it on our felt. All right. These wings are going to be beautiful with the white sparkle. I think the only problem I'm having right now is I am just so daggum warm. I need a fan again. Oh, this is such a good one. Such a good one. Be gay, do crime. Don't do crime. Don't actually do crime. It's a funny fan. Don't do crime. Beautiful. Now that we have our pieces cut out, we can start assembling this body. You have our cute wings and our adorable little bee body. Now the reason that we cut out a circle is because when we glue it together, I'm going to slightly overlap it. If you look at the difference in the two of these, you can tell this one is a head. It just, to me, it looks nicer. I want to make this nice and even. That looks good to me. I think this will help. Now that we have almost all of our pieces ready to assemble, I'm going to show you how this is going to work. We're going to take our butterfly, we're going to flip him over, we're going to take our rainbow ended piece. I think we want to overlap about there. We're going to glue this down and then take our body and glue it here, okay? After that, we're going to work on the face. We almost forgot a very important piece. Whew. Now we're just ready for the head. I'm gonna do my best to freehand a circle, like that little nub at the end of the antennae. Beautiful. Now we have the tiniest antennae. Now that we have the tiniest antennae in the world, we can glue them onto the head. Now we're going to be decorating the face, and I'm so nervous about getting this wrong. I couldn't find a black Sharpie, so we're going to use a brown one. I have like a little reference point of like what I want the face to look like, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it there. I know I want this smile. Just that. Okay, eyes could be bigger, but still round. Okay, I like that. But now I think I want to add a little bit of pink and give it some rosy cheeks. Just a little bit. Not a lot. Okay. So gluing this head down for some reason is giving me anxiety. So the very last part we need to do is attach the head. Now I'm going to slightly overlap, ever so slightly, the head underneath it. We're going to give her a good push down so she gets attached to that glue. And you now have an adorable little bookmark. A cute little bee with a rainbow. So we have our bookmark all put together. We have our book. You can use any book you'd like. I prefer Sarah J. Maas. If you know, you know. Open up your book. Put your rainbow at the bottom. And now you can see your rainbow at the bottom there, and your adorable little bumblebee here. I mean, isn't that the cutest thing in the whole world? If anyone has ever suggested that you read any of her books, that's because you should. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope all good things come to you. And happy Pride! Like I didn't have one more left. Makes me laugh. Till next time.